Today we're talking about factoring a monomial. So make sure you get your date, page number, and your learning target, and you put this all in your table of contents. Alright, so we're talking about factoring out a monomial. And if you remember, a monomial means one term. Basically, this unit we are going to be going backwards from everything you did multiplying. So we're kind of dividing. These are the steps to factoring a monomial. In other words, we are looking for a GCF. And what that stands for is greatest common factor. So what we're looking for is the biggest number that I can divide by everything. Also, how many variables I can take out of everything. So let's look at an example. So example 1, we're going to find the greatest common factor and divide each term. So I'm looking for a number that I can divide by 3, I can divide by -6, and I can also divide by 9. The biggest number that I can divide by 3, 6, and 9 is 3. Now, I don't have any variables. I can't take an x out of this because I can't take it out of all 3 because this 9 doesn't have an x on it. So the biggest thing I can take out of all 3 terms, this is 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms, is a 3. So my GCF, or my greatest common factor, is 3. Whenever you factor something, you always stick it out in front of the parentheses to show that you took it out. It can't just disappear. So I'm showing, hey, I took out a 3. After I take out that 3, what's left over? 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it's a 1x squared. -6x divided by 3 would be a -2x. And +9 divided by 3 is a +3. And that's your final answer because there's nothing in common that I can still take out of this parentheses. If you wanted to check your answer, you should be able to multiply back through, distribute, and get the same thing that you originally started with. Okay, so remember, that's what we did last unit where we were multiplying stuff and making the polynomial bigger, but now we're trying to simplify it and break it down. We're doing the opposite, so you're going to leave it at this step. So example 2, the biggest number that I can divide by 7 and 14 is a 7. In this case, not only can I take out a 7, but I can also take out a b because both terms have b's in them. But the most b's I can take out is 1 because this one only has 1. I can't take 2 out of this one. So the greatest common factor in this case is 7b. Remember, your greatest common factor goes out in front of your parentheses. And then inside your parentheses is what you have left. Well, 7 divided by 7 is 1. And b divided by b cancels, so I'm just left with 1. The second term, 14 divided by 7 is 2. B squared divided by a b to the first. Remember, you subtract your exponents and you get a 2b. Check and make sure there's nothing else I can take out of here, and there's not because I did choose the greatest common factor, and that is my final answer. Okay, let's try another one. This is a 1a to the 4th, right? So we're looking for a number that I can divide by 1, 3, and 9. And the only number that is 1. So I could say that I'm taking a 1 out of everything, but that's not actually going to change it. So I'm just going to leave, I'm not going to take a number out. Okay, let's look at the letters. This has 4 A's, 3 A's, and 2 A's. So the most that they have in common are 2. So I'm going to take a squared out of every term. This has a c to the 3rd, a c, and no c's. So since this one doesn't have any c's, I can't take any c's out. So the greatest common factor in this case is just a squared. And when I take an a squared out of an a to the fourth, I'm left with an a to the squared. And negative 3 divided by 1 is a negative 3. A to the third divided by a squared is just a to the 1. And then I have a c that I didn't touch. 9 a squared divided by a squared cancels, and I'm left with a c to the third. And that is your final answer. Again, if you want to check your answer, you can redistribute that back through, and you should get the same thing you started with originally. And that is it.